Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In case you're new here, my name is Kim. This is Core Union. I want to share an update from my client who's manifesting her mirror soul back into her life. I just did a video, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago. This is the one that she, I love it. I think it's adorable. She does her inner work in the form of writing gratitude letters to the universe. And what happened was she was being more consistent once we started working together. And out of nowhere, she ended up bumping into her mirror soul at an accountant's office when she was going to do her taxes. Everything was happening on her behalf when she was in flow because she was kind of in, she was being consistent and she was being faithful and trusting, living from the end of them being together. And then everything put her in the exact precise location. Think of the timing. And this isn't something that you control. That is the how, and that's the when, and that's what you actually have to surrender to. So this part isn't your job. And she obviously surrendered to it. And now, after our last session, the day before yesterday, she has even more unfolding that's happened because now she's experienced that the circumstance is dissolved. And the circumstance was a third party. I want to remind you guys, because sometimes you guys get in your feelings about this because you're putting yourself in the identification of not being the one, not being chosen, but you're already chosen by your mirror soul. You were already chosen before you were even born because the two of you guys were created for each other. So you guys know I'm talking about deep soul connections. I'm not obviously talking about just wanting to get an apology or wanting to just get a text message or just wanting to go out on a date with somebody. When you know, you know. When you feel it in your heart and soul, it's you're feeling that feeling in the core of you for a reason. And when you get in union with God, universe, source, the light, creator, whatever you want to label that, and you realize that you are one with that, you are consciousness having a human experience in the character avatar, vehicle, vessel, conduit, channel of whatever your name is, then you are truly getting in alignment with your power and trusting that your desire is already done, then it will manifest. And sometimes you guys are using the word manifest. I know I'm going on a rant here, but I'm going to get to the story. You guys are thinking of the word manifest as a verb, and the actual word manifest simply means the revelation of something. It's not like a woo-woo trick, it's not magic. So you're always manifesting, you always have been, but you're treating it like it's not it's not something that you pick up and put down. It's not something that you're suddenly doing. Your life is always things are always manifesting in your life based off of your identity of who you believe you are. You are already everything that you feel in your heart and soul you desire, but you have some programming and layers based off of your past growing up that's what you have to let go of. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to read this. Before I get further into this, if you do love my content, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me grow. I do appreciate you for that. And if you want me to be your coach to help you manifest anything related to your specific person, true love, deep soul connection, mirror soul, email a short description to kim@coreunion.com. Go to the website, coreunion.com, book either a single session or a package. My scheduling assistant will get back to you. My scheduling assistant, Olga, will get back to you with my next available session. And most people that I come on with success stories have done a package. Some people continue doing coaching because it feels good to have somebody that they can just talk things through. And when people are manifesting their true love, they also end up manifesting better experiences with other relationships in their life. They end up manifesting, um, for example, promotions at work or a better career or their own business being more lucrative. And they also learn how to improve their health as well. So that's when I teach and when I guide somebody, we're looking at everything because when you only approach things and do the inner work around you and your person, then That's why people end up being drained. So I'll read this and I intend that it helps. Hi, Kim. It was a pleasure speaking with you again today. Just sending you another update as requested. I saw my mirror soul again 2 weeks after running into him at the tax office, as mentioned in my first update. I had your voice reminding me not to get caught up in the unfolding. So I made sure to continue my letters of gratitude to the universe after seeing him for the first time. The second run in was at a work related event. This time we spent several hours together, even grabbing lunch at a nearby place. He told me how happy he was to see me. His lace, his lace, his face literally lit up, saying God had a sense of humor. According to him, the last time we saw each other, he looked for me at the office, at the tax office, thinking I was still there after his appointment with the accountant. When he noticed I had left, he said he looked through his phone to see if he still had my number to reach out, but noticed it was deleted after getting a new phone. Basically, the timing of our second run in was perfect. He told me about his relationship and how he felt it was time to end it because things just weren't working out. And also, from what he told me, it was a relationship that was full of emotional, mental, financial, and sexual abuse. Soon after, we walked around the area hand in hand and eventually said our goodbyes with a kiss or three. I was on cloud 12 for the longest time, but I realized I started to feel some anxiety a few days later, mainly questioning if I was moving too fast with him since he was still in a relationship. But he told her that he was going to be leaving that relationship. So just remember that. For 2 weeks, we messaged each other every day since we had lunch, but there was one day he didn't respond. I decided to call him just to check in to see what was going on. When he answered the phone, he sounded healthy, so I knew he wasn't sick. But when I asked him what was wrong, I noticed he did a complete 180 from the conversation we had during our lunch date. He started saying he was questioning whether he was moving too fast with me and decided he wanted to stay in his relationship to see where things go. Now, see, she was starting to get fearful that things were moving too fast. And then he started to get in his fear that maybe he was moving too fast and he started questioning his decision. Okay. See the mirroring and how precise that is. That led into a 2 hour conversation of mostly him questioning his worth and whether he was deserving of what I have to offer of unconditional love. He felt like he needed to try harder in the relationship he was in, even though he hadn't been happy for a long time. I immediately saw how he was mirroring me in what he was saying. I ended the conversation with several words of encouragement, but I knew the encouragement really had to start with me. After that, we went a few days without speaking, and I could feel my anxiety worsening with the silence. We promised we would finish our conversation another day, but I kept fearing what he would say. I knew that he could potentially decide to stay where he was or to start something new with me. Let me read that again. I knew that he could potentially decide to stay where he was or to start something new with me. See, so she started to waver, he started to waver, and now she was starting to kind of go into her old identity and the old story instead of staying in the end of already being together, like choosing in consciousness and sticking to the decision. But she did very good, as you'll see. I thought it would be helpful to write a letter to myself, giving the encouragement I knew I needed. I told myself that I was worthy and deserving of love, that I should forgive myself for the mistakes I've made, which were lessons to make me stronger, and that I shouldn't let my past relationships determine my present. Since I often had past partners cheat or end relationships with me to be with someone else, I saw this manifesting again with him. This was her fear. After writing myself a letter, I decided to write one to him too, not to give to him, by the way. I did the same in his letter. I encouraged him. I told him he was deserving of unconditional love, and I thanked him for being the man I need and want him to be. I also told him to forgive himself for the mistakes he made in past relationships and that he should take them as lessons learned. The next day, I messaged him, just checking in to see if we could continue the conversation that we started. That led to another long phone conversation where he mainly spoke about his relationships, the past, the present, and the mistakes that he's regretted. Our conversation, do you see the perfect mirroring of this? Our conversation, unfortunately, was cut short by the person that he was realizing, that he was in an abusive relationship with, who was calling him. He told me he would call me back. However, I instead received a text a few minutes later letting me know that he ended the relationship and that he felt crappy calling me right after. He was starting to feel guilty. Since he didn't say anything about me calling him, I decided to give him a call to get more information on the conversation. After telling me what happened and describing how he felt, he invited me over to his house. I gently refused, letting him know that going over his place would potentially put me in a rebound position, which I knew we both didn't want. I encouraged him to take some time to grieve his relationship, allowing him the space he needed to clear any thoughts he had, and he agreed. We both knew it wouldn't have hurt if she had gone over, but it was also a good decision I think that she made too, what she said. We both knew he was in this relationship before we met, so getting over her wasn't going to happen instantly. That was also um, a bit of a decision that she made unconsciously, but it's still okay. The next day, we spoke again for another 2 hours. This time, he told me he decided to do as I suggested and take some time to himself. He said he needed to reflect and, in his words, get this girl out of my brain. I told him I understood and that I was not going anywhere. That's perfect. She didn't go into manipulation. She just said, I'm not going anywhere. It's okay. And that's good. That's exactly what you should do. If I could wait this long, I met him 4 years ago, and 2 of those years we didn't speak. What's a few more days? As he requested, we went 2 days without speaking at all, but I dropped him a message that I was thinking about him. He responded, but no serious conversation came out of it. After feeling some anxiety building up again, just from the worry of him potentially going back to the ex, I wrote myself another encouragement letter. Several hours later, around 2 a.m., he messaged me saying he was thinking of me. As the middle continues to unfold, I'm trying to remain consistent with my thank you letters to the universe, focusing on my desires in other areas of my life as well. Thank you again, Kim, for your guidance and encouragement. I look forward to providing more encouragement and exciting updates the next time we meet. Warmest regards. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for all of you listening to this, what we ended up talking about in the session were those little areas where she was unintentionally slipping into old story. So we make a choice in consciousness, we make a decision that we trust, that we're faithful, that our desire is done, and then the 3D, obviously, the little human part of us starts to get a little bit in our fear and in our worry, but it's already done. She did really good. She did something that resonates with her. She wrote herself those encouragement letters from herself to herself, and then also to her person, then to herself again. I think she also may have done something from her person to her, that's also very powerful as well. Truly tapping into the oneness and kind of the dynamic of the energy of you and them together. Affirm down below that you trust everything what's in your heart and soul. You know your desire is done with your mirror soul. Obviously, just reach out to me if you need me. I love you so much. Have an amazing day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.